Hello, so I'm just going to do a quick little tutorial video on how to access the virtual desktops. So the fastest way to get there is to go right to the Chinook's Edge webpage for your first time. And so you just go down to the bottom where it says virtual desktops, which will open up another screen. And I will just enlarge this for you so you can see it better. And I will just, so here you would log on with your credentials. So I'll just log in here also. If you're not familiar with your credentials, you can talk to your land tech or your administrator. And then as it's logging in on the left, it's going to go through some pieces on the right hand side. So here it is preloaded with some pieces that are frequently used by many divisional staff. So obviously we have a web link to your staff email, the Chinook's Edge website, and also Google Docs. So it's not the same as a favorites, but it is kind of a smaller version of favorites. So it's just those things that you use on a daily basis. So it's not an extensive list of websites like you would have in Delicious or your regular favorites on your computer. There is also a place at the bottom here where you can add personal websites for yourself. Because this is user specific, it will only show up on your sign in. So again, students can add pieces there too of websites that they access academically on a regular basis. In the middle here, there's two clients that I haven't talked about yet. And so what those are for, the very first time that you would use this on a computer at home or at school, or not necessarily at school, I'm sorry, this is already on your school computers, but at home, you would then need to download the appropriate client. So for example, if I had a Windows machine at home, then I would need to download this client from this link, and that would just guide me through so that I can actually access and use my virtual desktop. It would also give me a shortcut key on my computer so I wouldn't have to access it via the Chinook's Edge web page. I could access it right through the icon. If I had a Mac computer, I would choose this option for the client. And it should also be noted too that on the Citrix website, if you have a handheld device such as an iPad or another type of tablet or a smartphone such as an iPhone or a BlackBerry, you can download the client directly on those devices too. So you can see how this really opens it up to any device so that everything kind of has the same look or feel and you have access to all of the software. So very handy for as we move forward within technology within the schools. So if you wanted to add personal websites over here, you just add the section here. I'm not sure if I went over that. So you would just click on add and enter in the information. I'm now going to go over to the left hand side here to where it says Windows 7 desktops. And I'm going to go in there and show you what that looks like. And I'm not going to enlarge the screen or else it throws my screencast off. So this is my screencast here, and you can see how the actual desktop is a layer on top. So this virtual desktop is just that. It is a virtual screen layer on top. So you can see the regular desktop behind, and then this is the actual virtual desktop. So here, if you go, you'll see some items that are on the virtual desktop. So you can save items there just like you can on the desktop on any regular computer. In this case, however, whatever I save on this desktop, I will have access to from any computer via the virtual login, which is extremely handy. So for example, students are working on something at school, they save their work to their virtual desktop, they go home, they log on to their virtual desktop, boom, they have access to what they need. And obviously same thing for teachers and administrators also. Down at the bottom here with the MS button, if you click on the Start menu, it's very similar to what you have on the computers. So here you have access to all of these softwares now at home via the virtual. So you can see how that really evens the playing field for maybe some of those that don't have Word at home or they haven't loaded notebook software on their home computers, etc. So now you can use any of these programs on any of the devices. So again, using an iPad that doesn't have Microsoft Office obviously loadable on that because they are not Windows machines, now I can actually use Microsoft Office products within an environment that I wouldn't normally be able to. So I can actually use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of those features on an iPad or an iPhone. Another important point is that because this is a virtual desktop, the Control-Alt-Delete function is different, because if I were to do Control-Alt-Delete right now, it would take me right out of my real desktop, which I'm not wanting to do. So if I wanted to do Control-Alt-Delete in this environment, I would click on this little item right here. The next one over is the little key for, or the icon for USB devices. So if I'm wanting to, for example, plug in a USB key or a memory stick or an external hard drive, I would then just use that function in order to gain access to my different data resources. So you're not limited to only saving things solely on your desktop. You can save them anywhere and access them from any type of file as long as it's a USB connection, obviously. So, and then over here, the little screws are for preferences, so, or the cog wheels. So in this circumstance, I can go in here and I can customize some things for my particular user point of view also. To close out of the desktop, it's fairly straightforward. Again, you can just close on the X. It will say you are about to disconnect or you want to do so, and you just say OK. And now I'm back to my regular screen. So you can see it's quite straightforward as far as how to use the virtual desktop. And if you have any more questions, I'm sure you've got some in-school experts, and if not, we would be glad to help you. Thank you.